This is 16 WAPT News at 10. Built around you.
I'm David Hartman with first weather right now. 39 degrees. Skies are clear. We're on our way to a chilly night. Look at the lows. Vicksburg and Natchez about 36. Macomb a low of 37. But looks like sunshine and milder weather for tomorrow. I'll tell you about the highs getting up to be pretty nice. Your weather's coming up.
Thank you, David. Tonight's lead story, Ole Miss will make its next football coach a multimillionaire. I'm Joyce Brewer. Scott is off tonight. Houston Nutt will reportedly make more than $7 million over the next 4 years. That will make him one of the highest paid coaches in the country. Nutt's salary will average out at $1.9 million a year, placing him in the top 25 for salaries, behind coaching legends like Joe Paterno. 16 WAPT's Joseph Pleasant joins us in the studio now with more details. Joseph.
Joyce, $1.9 million is not the biggest salary shelled out in the SEC for a football coach, but in a time when the cost of attending college is increasing, some wonder if paying a football coach millions of dollars is worth it.
Hit as he throws, touchdown Ole Miss!
How much is a winning football team worth? Ole Miss apparently thinks it's worth millions. Details of Houston Nutt's contract are still under wraps, but sources say Nutt will make close to $2 million a year for 4 years.
Hopefully that will send a loud message that I'm losing to that other school is definitely unacceptable.
Coach O cannot go into Ole Miss and get a win, so someone with some experience, look what he did with Arkansas.
Ole Miss fans are excited about the change, but what about parents who spend their money on college tuitions? The College Board estimates tuition will increase by 6% over last year, a fact Michael Yerger is familiar with. His daughter graduates from high school in 2009. She's considering Ole Miss.
For us, it's very important. I mean, Ole Miss needs a good head coach.
Yerger says he supports Nutt's salary. He calls it an investment.
It helps in recruiting, helps the school, helps bring people there.
When compared to other SEC schools, Nutt could be called a bargain. Each year, Alabama pays Nick Saban $4 million. Florida pays Urban Meyer $3.3 million, while Georgia pays Mark Wright $2 million.
The next time you have 75,000 show up for a chemistry lecture, then we could have this discussion.
For Ole Miss fans, they say you have to put your money where your mouth is to win.
I'd pay him more.
All right, pay him more if it costs.
If he can put us SEC championship, he'd be worth $4 million in my book.
Just for some perspective, if Nutt's salary was divided equally among Ole Miss's 17,000 students, each student would pay around $110. Details of Nutt's deal with Ole Miss should be revealed tomorrow at a press conference in Oxford. Joyce.
Thank you, Joseph. And by state law, the College Board must approve any state salaries over $75,000. Now, Ole Miss did not consult with the board before hiring Houston Nutt. Ole Miss will submit his salary to the board in January. Then the board will approve the salary or not. Now it's your turn. We want your feedback about this $1.9 million a year for Coach Nutt. Call the Feedback 16 line at 601-355-1616. The Ole Miss Rebels were not without a coach for long. Saturday, the university fired Ed Ogeron after his 3 years on the job, where he won just 10 games and lost 25. In stepped Houston Nutt, the former Arkansas head coach. 16 WAPT sports reporter Brittany Deal has been on top of the story. She's here now with more.
Thanks, Joyce. Before the stroke of midnight, the deal was done. Houston Nutt transplanted himself from one SEC powerhouse to what Ole Miss fans think will be another one. 16 WAPT senior reporter Greg Flynn found out that Rebel Nation is already rallying around their new coach.
Houston Nutt will get a warm welcome when he steps on the field in Oxford.
The head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, Houston Nutt.
Glenn Waddle is the stadium announcer for Rebel football and believes Ole Miss made a great choice nabbing Nutt.
We have to be very pleased with the decision. He's an experienced head coach and a really proven one that's beaten every team in the SEC at home and on the road. He's taken his team to West titles. He's been to Atlanta. He's gone to bowl games. He's just a proven winner.
Coach Nutt's record speaks for itself, 75-48 overall and 42-38 in the SEC.
Here's Flynn.
His last win came last Friday as Arkansas topped then #1 LSU in Baton Rouge in triple overtime.
Arkansas wins.
Longtime Jackson sportscaster and now Sports Hall of Fame director Michael Rubenstein says Ole Miss is breaking tradition with Houston Nutt. The Rebels were known for hiring up-and-coming assistants like Ed Orgeron in the past.
If they've learned one thing, it is that while recruiting and money are the fuel of college athletics, to manage a program, it obviously takes someone who has had escalating responsibilities, who's had to have people work under them, at least a coordinator or above. I think that's what they've learned from the Coach O hiring.
After watching the Rebels go 0-8 in the SEC this season, Glenn Waddle is confident under Nutt, he'll be saying his famous words a lot more next year.
First down, Ole Miss.
In Jackson, I'm Greg Flynn, 16 WAPT News.
And of course, we will have live coverage of the noon press conference to announce Houston Nutt as the new head coach. And join me at 5 and 6 tomorrow for a live recap of things in Oxford. Joyce.
All right, thanks so much, Brittany. And now that Ole Miss has found a suitor, 2 other Mississippi universities are looking for a head coach. Yesterday, Jeff Bauer stepped down at Southern Miss. There's no word on who will replace the 17-year vet. Bauer will finish out his career at the PapaJohns.com Bowl in Birmingham on December 22nd. Also, Alcorn State University is looking for a new coach after it decided not to bring back Coach Johnny Thomas. The family of a missing JSU student took to the streets to raise awareness about her disappearance. Latasha Norman has been missing since November 13th. This was the scene today on Capitol Street as Norman's parents, as well as her relatives, put out flyers of the missing student. Norman's father said they will continue their search and they still have hope.
We still got to stay on it, and we still got to beat the streets and keep going, and hopefully, you know, this will be closure pretty soon. We're still praying that Latasha is coming back to us alive and well. We're looking forward to that moment. We know God is working in the background, so we just have to be patient and wait on him, and he will deliver her back to us.
Right now, there are no suspects in the case. Norman's father also said he's pleased with the national attention the case has received. But a college professor questions the fairness of such media coverage of the missing Jackson State student, 20-year-old Latasha Norman. A Tougaloo College instructor says race is a factor in the amount of attention her story is getting. 16 WAPT Shantae Lance continues our coverage.
2 weeks later and still no sign of Jackson State junior Latasha Norman. Tougaloo College professor Melody Fisher has studied the difference between news media coverage between African Americans and whites. Fisher has presented her findings nationally.
There should have been a lot more national coverage of Latasha than there has been.
Norman's case has been featured on MSNBC and CNN, but hasn't received as much national attention as missing Clinton native Natalie Holloway. Holloway went missing during a high school trip in Aruba in 2005. 3 suspects now are back in custody. Police have not yet determined if foul play is a factor in Norman's case.
If the family or people close to her didn't know the right people, the right avenues to get that information out, then it would be hard to make it national.
Back at Jackson State, students plan to hold a prayer vigil on Wednesday in hopes of someone stepping forward with new information.
Hopefully somebody will feel some sympathy. If they know something, then they'll just come out and maybe, you know what I'm saying, something positive happen from it.
Just wherever she is, just pray and try to make your way home.
In Jackson, Shantae Lance, 16 WAPT News.
And tomorrow's prayer vigil is at 9 p.m. on JSU's campus at the Pedestrian Walk. Now, 2 bank accounts were set up to support Latasha Norman's family. They've opened the Latasha Norman Family Relief Fund at the Woodrow Wilson branch of the Trustmark Bank. The Jackson State University National Alumni Association also put a PayPal link on its website to accept donations for the family. Authorities say rumors and false reports are interfering with the investigation. Recently, authorities received false reports, including that Norman's body was found on Jackson State's campus over the weekend. Again, that is a false report. Authorities say with them following up on any and all leads, it doesn't help to have people making up stories that may impede their investigation. So if you have any credible information on Latasha Norman's disappearance, please call Crime Stoppers at 601-355-TIPS. Former Governor Ronnie Musgrove may run for Trent Lott's Senate seat. Musgrove plans to make a decision in the coming weeks. Musgrove, who is a Democrat, says he's received several calls urging him to run for Lott's seat. Musgrove plans to consult his family before making an announcement. And Musgrove says people are concerned about the direction that the country's heading. He points to high gas prices and the war in Iraq.
You know, we need people in Washington who are going to work together to bring us together to find solutions to those major issues that people are just frustrated about right now.
Governor Haley Barbour plans to appoint someone to Senator Lott's seat. They would remain in office until a November 4th, 2008 special election. Congressman Chip Pickering and Roger Wicker were also mentioned as possible Lott replacements, but neither is talking about their plans. Now to our Commitment 2007 coverage. The fight continues for the House District 71 seat. The winner of the race is challenging her opponent's request for a revote. Democrat Adrienne Wooten defeated Republican incumbent John Reeves. Wooten wants the Election Commission and the Secretary of State to certify her as the winner. The Hinds County Election Commission set a revote in 4 precincts for December 18th. Reeves says he may have lost votes in those split precincts because of alleged errors by poll workers. Tomorrow could determine whether City of Jackson employees will take home a paycheck Friday, and this all stems from a payroll dispute. Yesterday, 3 council members refused to sign off on payroll that included pay raises for 3 JPD officers who Mayor Frank Melton promoted. Rick Hill says council has until Thursday morning to sign the payroll. If it is signed, the mayor, the city council, and more than 2,000 other city workers will get their paychecks this week. Our exclusive 16 WAPT poll results showed a possible no-go for a second term for Mayor Melton. Only 31% of voters in our Mason-Dixon poll said they would re-elect him. Almost half, 47%, said they would replace him. 22% were undecided. Feedback 16 callers have a wide range of opinions on whether they would bring the mayor back.
Yes, I will support Mayor Frank Melton. His first term is his courting term, his learning term.
And I would not vote for Frank Melton again for mayor because he's proved that he's not as much interested in being the mayor of Jackson.
I would vote for Frank Melton again. He's trying. He did some things wrong, but he's still a great mayor to me.
And now it's your turn to tell us what you think. Call the Feedback 16 line at 601-355-1616 or click feedback at WAPT.com. Still ahead at 10, why the bachelor's pick for a fiance got booked in a Florida jail. And later, how doctors saved a child after a deer antler punctured his brain.
Well, right now, skies are clear. Radar is clear. What about the rest of the week? Your forecast is coming up.
Canton, the City of Lights, comes alive each holiday season with events for the entire family. The festivities all take place around the historic Courthouse Square, decorated with over 200,000 glittering lights. From the splendor of animated museums and historic homes to the carousel on the square and antique shops, Canton offers other holiday attractions, including the Multicultural Center, the Film Museum, and much more. 16 WAPT News Where You Live, sponsored by the Mill Store and Canton Farm Equipment.
Throughout fall, Galloway is having a series of teachings. We're going to be spending time asking ourselves those questions about Christianity that nobody else seems to be asking. How to be Christian in the true sense of the word. Come to Real Revival throughout the fall, every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Come and join us.
Now 16 WAPT weather with Chief Meteorologist David Hartman and your exclusive live Storm Shield 16 Doppler radar.
Temperatures have been falling steadily all evening. We are in the upper 30s right now, 39 degrees and a calm wind. Today we had a nice high of 60, finally got rid of the clouds. Present reading is the low for the day, 39. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 6:42. Live Storm Shield 16 Doppler radar, clean sweep across the area. Hattiesburg 46, down along the Gulf Coast 48. Vicksburg 42, and Natchez already down to 39. Right into the metro area, Clinton 39, downtown 39 right now as well. No significant rain in the forecast for the rest of the week. Enjoy the temperatures. They will be a little bit of up and down. All right, over to the maps now, and your guaranteed high temperature for tomorrow afternoon. A little bit milder than today, 67 degrees with sunshine and light winds. That will feel good. Rainfall continues to be way, way behind average. We should be up near 50 inches. We've only had 31 1/4. There's the rainfall deficit, about 18 1/2. Not going to make it up by the end of the year, definitely. Just got to hope as we get into 2008, we do get some rain and we don't have another dry year. So it's nice to see the sunshine, and it is going to stick around for a good part of this week. Yesterday, a cloudy, ugly day. I don't see any days like that anytime soon. There you can see the clouds lifting out very early this morning, crystal clear, starlit skies tonight as high pressure moves right across the area. Tonight, we're down into the mid-30s, and that cool air mass passes by. Tomorrow night into Thursday morning, lows back up into the low 40s, another surge of cool air, and then over the weekend. So it's kind of up and down. Weather systems moving along pretty quickly right now. As long as they do that, move from west to east, they don't pick up Gulf moisture. That's why there's no rain in the forecast. Macomb, 70 tomorrow. McGee, 67 in the Raleigh Forest area. Your high of 66 over towards the Mississippi River, upper 60s as well. Now, on Wednesday, late in the day, a cold front will be coming into the Ozarks, and this front will pass through central Mississippi late tomorrow night, early Thursday. So highs 65 to 70 tomorrow. On Thursday, highs are back down to around 60 degrees. And look at this cold air. Joyce, it's major shiver me timbers kind of cold, but I'm happy to say it is not headed this way. Arctic air will not penetrate the deep south. It's going to stay off to the north. There's also going to be the first snowstorm of the season over the upper Midwest. So there goes that first front through. So Thursday, a nice day with temperatures in the 60s. Friday will be in the 60s. Now over the weekend, another cold front will be coming down. Right now, it looks like showers with that would come in on Sunday, and temperatures really pretty much close to where they should be this time of the year. So chilly November night, 35 with the clear skies. Tomorrow should warm up pretty quickly in the morning, 67 with a light southeast wind. Tomorrow night, low about 42 degrees. And here's that extended forecast now. Look at those temperatures, not bad at all. Generally in the 60s. The average high this time of the year is in the low 60s. Average low around 40, so we're not too far off. Sunday, late, looks like some showers coming in. So Joyce, how about that ending on Dancing with the Stars tonight?
You already know I'm upset,
you
David.
You were stunned.
Let's not talk about it.
Well, we got a lot of people watching, so we're just glad you could do the beginning of the news.
Okay.
Since your team came up a little short tonight.
I know, I'm a little upset. We're going to tell folks about that a little bit later. But right now, the latest from the war in Iraq. Funeral arrangements are set for a Jackson soldier who died in Iraq. Visitation for specialist Melvin Henley Jr. is 8 a.m. Friday at the West Haven Funeral Home. His funeral is Saturday at 1 p.m. at the Refuge Temple Church. If you're getting a real Christmas tree this year, expect to pay a little more. The Christmas tree industry says you'll feel the pinch of higher gas prices. In some places, tree prices are up as much as 10%. We talked to one Christmas tree retailer who says, though the prices rose, the real thing is worth it.
With fake trees, you don't know where they came from. They could be from China, could have the lead in them. You know, there's a lot of problems. Some of them are electrical. And with a real tree, you get that pine scent. You get that real feeling of the old Christmas feeling, I guess is what you call it.